Kalina Jane Chen Silverman. Kalina, a name that's an adaptation of many cultural delineations, a declaration of my obligation to my diverse identification. Because my middle name Jane, following the ambition of Jewish tradition, comes from the first letter of my Jewish great-grandfather Jacob Melman, the grandfather of my father Daniel Hillel Silverman. And my other middle name Chen comes from my mother's last name Chen, because unlike many women who take the last names of the men that they marry, on the contrary, she took her last name for herself. And my last name Silverman I hold as proof of my Jewish identity, because it's an entity that few recognize at first sight of me, yet it's a big part of me, well, at least half of me. When people see me, they see me as Asian rather than Caucasian. Only through persuasion do they recognize my Jewish self. But I can recite the Be'ahata, an Israelite tons of shawarma. I like the menorah and I dance the hora. At my bat mitzvah, I read from the Torah. Even this past summer, I chose to write a screenplay about a rabbi, and my aunt's matzo ball soup always generates a big appetite. Does defining myself as half Jewish sound kind of useless or particularly exclusive? I'm not sure. Because even at sleepaway camp overnight and on Birthright, I felt like I had to put up a fight, because Jewish identity isn't just black and white. But for me, it's not about what defines the religion. Judaism isn't just a classification system or the assertion of God's existence. As a Reformed Jew, I don't consider myself too religious, but when I was in loneliness and despair at one point in freshman year, I would pray to God, the universe. I don't really know, but it made me less afraid. When I was ridiculously happy and I found out I would get to go to Germany this summer to research Holocaust survivor stories, I also prayed, out of my faith that someone in the universe gave me a chance to do something great. And when I have existential crises, which honestly happens constantly, because I fear time's increasing velocity, and psychologically I carry this burden of responsibility to do well in not just school, but life, and avoid mediocrity, and stay away from conformity, well, when all of that happens, I honestly think about Jewish spirituality and philosophy, and how I've learned, when facing a psychological hindrance, what's most important is to make some sort of positive difference through persistence, and I've learned that love and kindness are timeless. And Rabbi Aaron taught me the other day that the Talmud says the Torah was actually split up into 70 languages so its teachings could be universally dispersed. And since I love inspiring stories, poems, and quotes, I'll relay this passage that I heard one Sabbath. In a Jewish legend, a rabbi asks his students, when does transition from night to day take place? And the rabbi gave this answer. When you look into the face of your fellow human being, and you discover in it the face of your brother or your sister, the night has come to an end and day has dawned. So, yes, I may be hereditarily half Jewish. The values I've learned through my Jewish education make me whole.